is the fix is in. And my friends, it is. I hardly slept last night after hearing what is taking place in Washington, D.C. There are two avenues. There's an avenue of the President of the United States doing what we elected him to do, and there's an avenue of our Congress and senators, the majority of Republicans and all Democrats, to remove him from office. This is a spiritual battle. And those of you who follow me, who are involved with our ministry, who are intercessors with me, I'm so glad that you're with us today. And if you have a comment, we would love for you to go ahead and send your comment, and we will address it in the 15 minutes that I'm going to be talking to you today. The fix is in, is what has now happened. Number one, the fix is in with the Obamacare. We have had Mitch McConnell. He has met with 13, he and 13 Republicans have met with Ezekiel Emanuel. Ezekiel Emanuel is the liberal that actually established Obamacare. Even though he's never been in Congress, the Obamacare bill that was written was not written by the Congress. They didn't read it. They actually got rewarded for pushing it through Congress, and Ezekiel Emanuel is the architect. What he's done last week is Mitch McConnell and the Republicans really held a circus, and they think that we are absolute fools in this country. And they met with the 13 Republicans that they didn't name, plus Ezekiel Emanuel and Democrats, and they decided that they were going to have a bipartisan bill that was going to give the Democrats the power that they long for a single-payer insurance, a single-payer system in our medical care. Now, this didn't come out in the news. The Christian broadcasters don't have the information, but God called me in the beginning to research and understand what was in the Obamacare bill, what it was based on. I read most of it, and I have been talking about this since before the Democrats voted it in. We do not have the facts, but I'm giving you the facts. And what has happened is we have been hijacked. Susan Collins has come out and she has said yes. She got a hero's welcome from the Obama mob when she landed in Maine for making sure Obamacare stayed. She runs as a Republican, but she does not vote as a Republican. And she needs to hear from you. The plan of action this week is for my friends, my Facebook friends, to actually act. I believe in prayer. I lead one of the strongest prayer networks in America, one of the most informed, one of the most educated, one of the most united, one of the most anointed and powerful prayer networks in this country. But it takes more than prayer. We pray specifically in our network. We know how to pray, what to pray for, and what to pray against. Well, what the Republicans have done, all but 4 senators are not supporting the president that 69 million of us elected. They are supporting the Democrats. They plan to cede the power. Susan Collins comes out after having Obama mob welcome her back to Maine after she made sure Obamacare stayed in place. She's not the only one, but she was the handmaiden they chose. And the Democrats are elated. Obama is laughing. She came out this week and said that they are going to fix Obamacare. They already have planned to fix Obamacare, and They are going to take care of the insurance companies. That is Susan Collins. The reason I offer you and all my intercessors the congressional directory, because in this book are names, addresses, offices. In this book are the committees they serve on. And if you don't know the states of the people that are doing the talking, like Lindsey Graham, they're in alphabetical order in front of the book. All of the administration, their pictures, their emails, phone numbers. You need to know what they're doing in Washington, D.C. and who's doing it. And this book gives you that information. You can see that I use this book. It is not new. I used it because I contacted Susan Collins this week, asked her on her voicemail. She actually had a voicemail. Most of them don't. I asked her how much did the insurance companies funnel into her coffers, and how much did Planned Parenthood pay her to literally become a traitor to the Republicans that elected President Trump to make our nation great again. Of course, we'll never know. With McConnell, they are tripping us up. McConnell has already met with Republican senators. They are going to have a bipartisan bill to fix Obamacare. That's not what they promised, and we cannot let them this year get away with that. So what do? You need to know the only way we can beat this crooked crowd of Republicans who are nothing but Obamacrats, who are fighting to move the president we elected. They are in total unity with the removal of Donald Trump, as the witches have proclaimed. The only way that they will not win, because of the way they have the power, and they've got enough Republicans now going with the Democrats, that they are bipartisanly voting to do whatever they need to do to tie President Trump's hands and get him in a position that he is powerless. We cannot allow that to happen. The plan of action for today, because this is our insiders briefing and call to action, 15 minutes live on our Facebook, Faye USA, and our YouTube, Insight USA. And then this is recorded and posted on my website, insightUSA.us. The plan of action. Number one, we've got to pray, but number two, we've got to talk. You got to know these phone numbers. They've got to know that you know what is going on, and the truth will prevail. These congressmen and senators are using the United States Treasury as a slush fund. How do you think they become multimillionaires on salaries? 150, well, just a couple of years ago, they raised the salary to $170,000 a year. McCain, can you imagine where he's been in the Senate for 30 years? I'm going to get back to that in just a moment because we have a comment. Corey.
Donna Tidwell, she says she's sending you prayers.
Praise God, Donna. And I want you to be sure, get your congressional directory, and you have to contact these people. I thank God for every prayer that we pray, and we do pray. I thank God for every prayer organization that's united with us to get our information. Every churches are now are signing up to get our face facts to use and leave in their vestibules, because it is our information that I give out each week to guide our intercessors nationwide how to pray and what is happening that week that is a threat to us or a blessing to us. So thank you, Donna. Thank you for calling. Go to email me, Faye, F-A-Y-E, USAinsight@gmail.com. get on my mailing list, get your e-blast from me weekly by going to insightUSA.us, enter your email address, and you will get calls to action as things happen. The reason I'm going live on Facebook is we've got to talk as things happen. John McCain voted to keep Obamacare in place. John McCain is a multi-millionaire. He's only been in the United States Senate 30 years. Where did all of that money come from? The Senate used to make $90,000. Then they went to 140. Then they went to 170. And this is just since I've been a Christian activist. And yet, this man, after 30 years in the United States Senate, is a multi-millionaire. The same with Lindsey Graham. How did they accumulate this money? That's what I'm going to tell you right now. The only way we can stop the Democrats and Republicans, because they're both enemies of the man that 69 million of us elected to office. How do we stop them? As we the people, we must expose their criminal actions with their kickbacks from federal contractors who they issue federal grants. And with doing this, they call them lobbyists. Honey, they're money launderers. And there's 4 senators that stand with the American people and the president. There's 395 senators that are going with the cash flow, the slush fund. We have 40 people in the Congress that are standing with our president and the people. This is what we have to change. But they are going to remove President Trump using liberal lying lawyers and courts exactly the way they plan to do under the supervision of their special counsel, Robert Mueller. The call to action is you must call Lindsey Graham, John McCain, Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, and Jeff Flake, and you wouldn't be watching me if you weren't keeping up politically, but you have to leave a voicemail and ask them, why don't they become transparent with all of the kickbacks from federal contractors, Marco Rubio, and the United States Treasury being their slush fund? How do you think Barack Obama is building a $500 million library for the taxpayers to maintain? $500 million. How do you think he is now traveling with the richest of the rich, running around touting that the rich, the Republicans, are only taking care of the rich, acting like he's not, and Michelle's not? Chuck Schumer, the rich this and the rich that. We need to know where he got his riches as a United States Senator. The only way we're going to bring them down, because they've connected. They're in total unity. The majority of the Republicans and all of the Democrats. Their corruption must come to light. That's why you need to get our face facts, because I've extended the information in this week's face facts based on the information I'm giving you. You will have it detailed. We want you to get it. You can send me an email. I'll email it to you, or we send it in the mail, because sometimes we send fact sheets with it. So just get in touch with me, either my email, the website, insightUSA.us, or call our office, 407-265-0700, and press 2, and you'll talk to Janie. said, I want to unite with Faye. I want to get on board with what she's doing. I am going to become one that will stand with her in action. Number 2 for today is Robert Mueller has convened a grand jury for an investigation. It was leaked out, and Robert Mueller has hired 16 lying liberal Democrat lawyers to bring President Trump down. There has been no crime that he's investigating, but these same senators and these same congressmen have yielded to him $100 million to do whatever he has to do using lying liberal Democrat lawyers to bring our president down. This is treason. But we've got a deputy attorney general, which all of their numbers are in here. Don't be afraid. You need to call, you need to email. But you have got Rob Rosenstein, the deputy attorney general, who was one of Obama's right-hand men. Now I'm taking you to the point. Jeff Sessions is a joke. Oh, I hear all these bragging. Oh, Attorney General Sessions was so faithful to the president. How could the Let me tell you, Jeff Sessions sold out our president for a job. He yielded to something that did not exist. There was no crime. But he pacified the Democrats. Well, I'll recuse myself from Russia. You do whatever you want to with Russia. No crime. But they've given $100 million to Robert Mueller to create crimes and remove the man that we elected to office. Lindsey Graham is leading the charge. You should see the kickbacks Lindsey Graham and John McCain and Marco Rubio got back from federal contractors working in Iraq. I did research on it years ago, and they have profited more, I guess, than any of the three. And they are saying Donald Trump needs investigations with his finances. No, he does not. Their finances. But what's the plan of action? You must contact them, and you must ask them to be transparent about all of the kickbacks they have gotten from federal contractors and federal grants. We want to know when they got it, how much it was, and what they did with it. You've got to turn it on them, or they will win. Robert Mueller should be fired, but we have a Senate that has passed a bill that he cannot be fired. I've never seen anything like it. They passed a bill taking President Trump's authority from foreign policy decisions. What do? Number 1, pray. But number 2, we've got to speak out. And we've got to do it now because the fix is in with Robert Mueller and the Senate. The fix, if they create a lie and they take it, the grand jury, which are all Democrats in Washington, D.C., that's the law. But it's unconstitutional. I have another comment. Hey, Corey.
Donna said that Lindsey Graham is actually from her hometown.
Well, she needs to go see him. You need to go see. I used to just adore him. I've been going to Washington for years. And Lindsey Graham, I was in a meeting with him with the Christian Coalition. And the head of the Christian Coalition was from South Carolina. And he spoke to us in Washington at a press conference one year. I met him. I talked to him. I'm from North Carolina. So we had so much in common. And I had 2 senators in Florida that were literally the one was Republican, just like the Democrat. They didn't care about the people. They didn't care about us. They only cared about the environmentalists. about the drug traffickers, about the Muslims. And when I got to talk to Lindsey Graham face to face, and he was so nice, and I just said, you know, I'd give anything if we had representation like this. But he's changed. Lindsey Graham has been sucked in by John McCain, who's done nothing but exploit the fact that he was a prisoner of war. He wasn't the only one. But look at the VA. Look at Arizona. Their health care has increased over 100. I think they said the last time, people are paying over 120% more if they can even get a health insurance policy. And he stood up there and said, keep it. So please, Donna, and please, this is going to be posted on my Facebook. Email it to people. Because if you don't have a plan of action, nothing is going to change. I want you to get a petition in South Carolina for Lindsey Graham to have to give an account for all of the kickbacks of federal agencies and federal contracts that have come to him since he's been a senator. Corey, we have another comment. Thank you.
Gay Odin says, keep your voice strong. She's sending you blessings.
Gay, it's people like you that keep me strong. And it's people like you that's helping us go to the next level. I love you so much. In fact, I was going to call you this weekend and see if you could just go on the website and get as many email addresses from all of the media programmers, the secular media and Fox News. Go to my website, insightUSA.us, and enter them. If you and Cynthia could begin to put these, Lou Dobbs, there's so many of them. But if you'll just go on their websites, they give you their email addresses. We need to get our information to the media. The fix is in. Robert Mueller and this grand jury with the Republicans' support. If the Republicans had not given them $100 million, not one Republican has stood with President Trump. I think now, this week, maybe one or two did. But Jeff Sessions, I heard a part of his speech today. He is a joke. We have had these leaks since the beginning. I believe President Trump's phone has been wiretapped. And I think they need to follow that wiretap to find out what is going on. We have got to stand up, or our president is going to be removed on false accusations by lying liberal lawyers and judges. We cannot let that happen. We cannot let Lindsey Graham say if the president fires Mueller, he's going to have hell to pay. No, we need to find out about Lindsey Graham and John McCain and Robert and Marco Rubio. If we just get those three, I tell you, the wall will tumble, because they're all, except for 40 in the Congress, 4 in the Senate. We don't have representation. We have enemies of this nation running this country. Corey, have another comment.
Donna says, don't you think God is shutting John McCain down?
I absolutely do. I believe the only reason that John McCain was given the strength to come back to D.C. was to expose him. Where did all the millions come from? He hasn't voted according to the Republican platform in years, especially the 8 years that he stood with Obama for 8 years. Obama knew he had the friends. What they've done now is they've gotten McCain to organize, and Graham and Rubio, to organize Republicans to vote with Democrats. And they did that before they left town. Rubio comes out, I promised the people that we would repeal Obamacare. We have to do that. He has no intentions of repealing Obamacare. He's taking us to a single-payer plan like the VA. Look at the VA health care if you want to know where we're going. And the thing is that everything you say to your doctor and your doctor says to you is channeled straight to Ezekiel Emmanuel and literal buffoons to decide whether we are even going to qualify for health care. A medical care. And they have sold their lives But the people stand with the president. The Republicans we elected, except for 95% of them, stand with the Democrats. And the fix is in. They just passed 2 bipartisan bills to render President Trump powerless, even though it is unconstitutional. So unless we, the people, take a stand, I'm going to Washington next week, and I'm going to Rubio's office, and I'm going to throw a constitution on his table. How can they give $100 million to a group of liberal, lying lawyers to remove the man we elected to office? The only way they can do it is for us to do nothing. But even if they don't care about our voice, because we let our voices be heard. Nancy Pelosi has already announced on Fox News Sunday this week that we were going to have a nonpartisan plan for Obamacare and that they were going to fix it. And they already had the votes. And she's right. Unless, and there's nothing we say that can bring them down. The only thing we can do is ask God, and I'm doing it through the Face Facts. Please, if you're not on my mailing list, you need to get the information I give out every week. We're going to start making this a blog pretty soon because we're growing. My media team is helping me get our information in a way that you've never seen. We are working hard. So what I want you to do today, you need these numbers. $125, I'll send you your congressional directory. Know who they are. But we've been hijacked. We've been raped. We have been robbed by the same people. And President Trump is our choice. The nasty women, my campaign next week, I'll be telling you more. We're going to launch a campaign to face them down. T-shirts are almost done, and our campaign is going to launch within 2 weeks to confront the nasty women, the socialists, the liars, the witches, the Muslim women that declare jihad in our streets and not even. But Jeff Sessions is a joke. He said in his speech, we are going to begin to look at the leakers. They've been leaking for 6 months and he's done nothing. Somebody has put the kibosh on Sessions. He should resign for the sake of the nation and the sake of our president. Sessions has to go. I pray President Trump will not be bullied by this John McCain and Lindsey Graham and Susan Collins and other slush fund recipients, but that he will fire Jeff Sessions. He will fire Mueller. He will fire. And sure, there's going to be today, there's going to be, there'll be an outpouring of terror, but it'll go away. What crime? This is what I need for you to ask Jeff Sessions. And his number's in here. His email is in here. His fax. What crime is Robert Mueller investigating? And that's what you need to ask McConnell and those that are saying he cannot be fired and that have designated $100 million bipartisan to bring our president down. What crime are these 16 plus Mueller lying liberal Democrat lawyers investigating? It has to stop because the fix is in. Please email your friends and say you have to go and like Faye USA. Facebook.com/Faye USA. Let me hear from you. We will answer you back. Also, YouTube, Insight USA. This is going to be recorded there, and also it will stream insightUSA.us. Email me, faye.usa@gmail.com, and go to my website or call our office, 407-265-0700, press 2, and make a donation and help us expand this work. We are on the precipice of a national, literally, campaign that's going to bring this crowd of evildoers to naught. Our president was elected by 69 million people. They will not silence. They will not. I'll see you. Have a great, great weekend. I'll see you next week.